you strong? Your family, your friends, your community, your church. Connections help you to become stronger as a person, but they can also help to make your business stronger. And this is what we want to show you today. We want to show you how LIC can leverage their existing connections and how they can build new connections, making them financially independent and ensure sustainable growth. But let's first review how they can do this. They can do this by targeting two strategies. And these strategies are built on your roots, so on your foundation, where you come from. OIC is dedicated to serve the needs of low-income students in terms of education, profession, or recreation. And this is especially urgent when considering the key trends, and statistics, which are especially threatening. Therefore, OIC serves to meet the needs of the youth and to fight inequalities by bringing them purpose and health. So, for example, Gustavo is one of the kids that you were serving. And you help them to realize the dream of education and outside actualization through your services. So, what differentiates you from your competitors? Because, of course, there are several organizations offering similar services, but you're one of the key ones, and but you're one of the leading ones. And your leading position is built on your business model. And firstly, there are three main things. First, you have a great reputation in your community and bring support that community. Secondly, you're one of the only ones that have used data analytics as a non-profit in order to further make your services more efficient. And lastly, you have used these data analytics and research services in order to make your human capital better skilled and to centralize them to the needs of the youth that you're caring for. All these together build up in your profit long-term. So how do you get funded? Mostly you're funded by government grants. You make up 70% of your entire revenue stream. However, even though we've now seen that the business model is quite strong and that you're a leading position, there's still some 3 points that we want to work on, and I want to show you how you can improve them through our strategy. So firstly, we've identified that you have data analytics software, which is really effective in gathering data of your full-time staff, but it does not include your volunteer staff, so they are not essential. Secondly, we have seen that you have an infrastructure for your full-time volunteers, but a full-time staff, but not for your volunteers. And there's also unmet potential on high volunteer turnover. Lastly, we've seen that you're highly dependent on fluctuating government grants. And as we expect to decrease in the future through economic recession, we want you to become financially, or we will help you to become financially independent. So based on these three developments, we're going to have 2 key steps that we want to talk about in the following presentation. So firstly, we want to help you to find alternative funding streams. And secondly, we want to help you to create a streamlined volunteer infrastructure on how you can to better build a network for your volunteers. So how will this look like? This will look like in 2 strategies. Firstly, strengthening existing connections. And how will we do this? When you strengthen your existing connections with your volunteers by building a volunteer infrastructure through a mobile app interface called OIC Connect. And this will allow you to become more efficient in your operations and reduce staff turnover through using big data. Secondly, our second initiative will be on building new connections by entering partnerships and designing new services to schools to educate teachers using the PYD curriculum. And this will help you to get more financial assistance as well as sustainable revenue. So overall, by using these 2 initiatives, you'll be able to get 20% more long-term volunteer staff. You'll be able to reduce your dependence on government funding up to roughly 50%, and you'll be able to get an LTV of roughly 6 million by 2021. So after I've now explained the 2 initiatives, let me now hand over to Rani, who would like to enter the strategy.
Thank you very much, Martin. So let me explain to you how the LAYC Connect app can help you to create an effective volunteer management structure. So the whole idea behind this app is to collect, analyze, and usefully and effectively use volunteer data. So how will this work? How will this app help you to do this? Well, volunteers volunteers sign up on this app. Volunteers sign up on this app and get access to 3 main features. These are My Projects, My Events, and My Trainings. So this will look like this. In the My Projects feature, the volunteer signs up and indicates information about himself or herself. So he creates a profile. Then this information gets transferred to a data system where the volunteer gets categorized into a certain category. Depending on the category in which the volunteer is categorized, he will get matched to certain projects or programs he is most suitable for. Moreover, after he has been assigned to a project, he will get a push notification on his mobile app in order to indicate if he's interested or not. Furthermore, it will also help you to coordinate training of the volunteers. Training is actually particularly important for the volunteers because by attending certain trainings, they will be able to move up into a higher category and get access to more projects and programs, and get access to more projects and programs. A third feature is the My Events section, where the volunteer will get notifications about events, about upcoming events he or she can attend in order to mix and mingle with the other volunteers or get in contact with the creators of the organization. So what exactly are the benefits which will lead to an effective infrastructure? Well, first of all, you will have structured volunteer data, which you did not have before. This will also help you with the recruitment process. Second, you will have this effective project volunteer matching process, which will guarantee an effective allocation. Thirdly, it will boost the long-term interest of your volunteers to engage on the long term with your organization. But it will also attract new volunteers through organic growth because there will be a higher satisfaction on the side of the volunteers, as well as a higher quality guaranteed for your clients and kids. And last but not least, it will help you to foster your communication, your community through relationship management with the app.
All right. In order to find new sustainable sources of revenue, we suggest you make use of one of your key strengths, which is the PYE program. There are many ways to commercialize this program. We have listed down 3 options in this table here and evaluated them on 4 different decision criteria. As you can see, the third option to partner up with schools and offer them modular PYE training has the highest score, which is why we believe this is the most appropriate solution. To be more specific, 73% of teachers claim that they are unprepared in dealing with, in addressing issues such as drug abuse or violence in schools. Therefore, we would offer schools the opportunity to participate in the PYE program, but in a modular way, so that schools will be able to select the content which is most relevant to them. Also, we would provide assistance with finding sponsors to pay for this program, and the benefits for schools are quite clear. Safer school environment through better communication between teachers and students would make the school more effective to students and teachers alike. But I will be glad to address the program in the Q&A. I will now hand it over to Anna to walk you through the finances.
So, of course, this will have benefits to the schools, but also to us. On the one hand, it supports our core mission. On the other hand, it creates additional funding streams, which you can see here. We become less dependent on government grants. As we said before, decrease dependency to 50%, increase our price, so increase total revenues by 15%, and realize an MPV of 5.7 million. If you have any more questions, how we got to these numbers or what we can infer with it, please address it in the Q&A. If you're convinced by now and you want to, when can we implement this, we prepared the implementation schedule for you. And as you can see, you can start right now. Again, if it goes long term, please address it in the Q&A. I'll just go to the key takeaways. Contact IBM.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cost breakdown of the PYD. I'll start with the second part, so the cost breakdown of the PYD training. So we took the same size of team as you're currently doing in the PYD training for your own staff. That means per training, 3 employees, and there's 15 participants. Per employee, we use your data to see that you have an average monthly salary of $3,600. So we think that it goes down to hourly expense, $23. Each module consists of 6 hours. So 6 times 23 would be the hour per worker. We need 3 workers. We need our salary expense per module. On top of this, we have to have fixed costs. Again, we derive them from the current fixed costs you have in the PYD training for your own staff, which will be 357 per module. That's less because our modules are only 6 hours instead of 40 as your training. So we have a total cost per module of 773. We assume that each school will roughly select 2 modules. So they have, so this is the cost for us. Don't get this mixed up with the cost to the firm. So we sell each module for $4,500, meaning we have a quite big margin, profit margin on it, which will be sponsored by external sponsors for our clients so that the schools can afford it.
Concerning the app, we thought about also contacting our sponsors, for example IBM or even the University of Michigan, which already sponsor us and donate to us. And we thought they might take over the costs and develop it for us. And that way it's a kind of win-win situation again, and we can spare the cost for developing the app by ourselves.
Okay, so for marketing purposes, the app is supposed to promote marketing on Maastricht. I can see how it's really relevant for marketing also. But how do you plan to bring in more volunteers to everyone otherwise
So one consequence is that these volunteers will engage more long-term with us, and that way they become more satisfied also because of the project matching process, because they know their skills are required, they are matched to the right programs and the right projects, so they're more satisfied with their work, and in that way they will spread the word. So word of mouth will be increased, and therefore we will have organic growth. Also what we thought, as a marketing effort, we might create, for the launch of the app, we will make a launch party where all volunteers are invited and they can bring their friends. And that way, and during this launch party, we can first get all the volunteers to download this app and sign up in order to give the data for our database, but also let their friends download the app and already register so we have their data, and send them these push notifications so they don't forget about LA University.
To add on, you can see in this word of mouth, and we already have some very engaged students, so we want to exploit this, and exploit is probably not right, so make use of this and get the students to get other students on board. For example, go to lectures, tell others about it. So events, create events themselves in order to inform others why they like what they do. And it's very easy for the new ones to just sign up to our application, and then they get news, they get information targeted to them in order to better get them on board. looked at some statistics where we have the most problematic schools in this area. And we actually identified, we have a, so here you can see the daily attendance across the different wards and locations. And especially in Ward 7 and 8, as well as Wards 4 and 5, we have low attendance rates. Plus, we have Ward 7 and 8 also very high on the suspended students. So it indicates that are problem districts where a lot of teachers are overwhelmed with the students and have problems dealing with them, as well as students come from problematic backgrounds. So we said first, go to Ward 7 and 8, and in the long run to 4 and 5. These are actually some schools in Ward 7 and 8 that you could contact right now with the
I'll be happy to answer that question. So, we would offer advice on finding sponsors to maybe subsidize the cost of participating in the PYD program. And there are actually many foundations out there, the J.P. Morgan Foundation, Stewart Foundation, that are specifically focused on supporting community schools and helping schools go through these training programs. So we believe that if we facilitate the communication between the schools which would like to take part of the program and the foundation, then they would find mutual understanding and set up an agreement between themselves. That answers your question. It is built into the project plan in a way that the workshop, setup of the service workshop consists in 3 steps. First, the school would select the modules and count the location they require, and then indeed step number 2 would be the search for funding, and that would be all conducted before we start the actual training process.
Let me make it more explicit. So we could have, for example, school campus 6-7 in the beginning. So we contact with water, Anna Kopia High School. And they would select, for example, these two modules, which are effective communication techniques and drug abuse. And JP Morgan, for example, has specialized in these areas, plus it's one of their locations that they're interested in supporting the communities. So by focusing on sponsors which either want to help kids with drug abuse or like focus on this location, we directly contact them, have this explicit example who needs help and how they can help, and then get the donations from them. So we have this plan from the beginning to support the school with the funding. Oh no, so this would be, for example, the school says, I want to have, because we have 2 modules, so that requires 2 days, 6 hours, and they would say, we want to have that on Monday and on 2 following subsequent weeks. So that was the time.
Well, we think one underlying problem is that we don't have a database of volunteers. So without having this database, it's difficult to stay in contact with them. So that's why we suggested this app, which is a kind of customer relationship management, which is currently lacking. So in that way, the organization can send push notifications, and we know everyone always has his mobile with him. And that way we constantly be reminded of the organization, of the opportunities to engage in projects and programs.
Maybe we can again make it more explicit.
Thank you for your questions, ladies and gentlemen. To conclude, let us again turn our attention back to your business model, and let us explain how our proposed strategy will fit and advance your business model. So, starting off with key processes, you already have a wide range of programs and services in the offering, and the proposed modular PYD program would greatly enhance and expand that broad mix of services offerings already. The program would have a significant financial impact on your organization as it creates sustainable new sources of revenues, but it would also indirectly serve your target group.
Exactly. And another key distinguishing process your organization has is your data analytics system, so the ETO system. However, we still see that there's still some untapped potential as you do not have a database for your volunteers. On the other hand, you have the key resources which distinguish you from your competitors and which make up your own salsa. You have your community with your clients, with your volunteers, with your staff, and you have the reputation for being specialists in youth development. And your human capital is trained and sensible to the different needs of your kids. However, we already talked about the problem of the high volunteer turnover and the problems with binding the volunteers to your organization, and also that there is no standardized volunteer training. We tackle these problems with our LAYC Connect app, which works with data, which then is processed by your data system in order to create this effective infrastructure to manage your volunteers. And also, this will, again, the information will feed back into your key resources because it will provide further insights on how to optimize your key resources and key processes.
Lastly, we highlighted the issue of the high dependence on government funds, which are expected or forecasted to decrease in the future. Therefore, we hope to our strategy to decrease this dependency by creating an entirely new revenue stream of an MPV of 5.7 million and increase your pie, so the total revenues you have, by 15%. This increases your government funding to 50%.
So in general, to wrap up, what have we done so far? By using our two initiatives, we were able to tackle the two challenges that we outlined in the beginning. So finding an alternative funding stream, and secondly also building a volunteer infrastructure since it was lacking so far. And we were happily able to achieve this if you decide to implement our suggestions. So we've been able to have financial diversification for our PYD training program to teachers, and we have an effective HR system, which can be seen in the two KPIs and the KPI that we have outlined beforehand, which has 20% more long-term volunteer staff and also an overall increased staff base of volunteers. Secondly, we have 50% increase, we have decreased government funding, down 52%. And lastly, we were able to get an MPV of, high MPV of close to 6 million, only from our PYD program with a next 5 years. So this has helped you to become stronger as an organization. However, what is the bottom line of this? What do you want to do? You're there to care for kids. You want to make them stronger. And this is what we have, in the end, helped you to do. Help kids become stronger. Thank you very much for your attention, and we would like to thank you.